can just start whenever I want. I'm going to do your little snap thing. All right. All right, we're going to just jump right in, guys. It has been a hell of a first start to the year. Super busy around here. As most of you know, we run a gym here in Ocala, Florida, Iron Legion Strength and Combat. We don't run a professional podcast. So these are kind of off the cuff from time to time. Today is going to be no exception. What I want to talk about, though, and I don't want to get in a hurry, but my son he has his regionals event here for wrestling. He's a sophomore in 10th grade, and wrestling varsity. He's made it all the way to regionals, county champ. He did undefeated all the way through county, so I'm pretty fucking pumped about this kid. I don't know if you can tell, but I can't wait to get up there today. Wrestling starts at 1 o'clock, so I got a little bit of time. I just wanted to touch base with you guys, tell you all some cool stories, give you a heads up as to what's going on over the next couple weeks, and just chill out with you for a minute. So what I want to talk about is sacrifice, right? And it's a common theme. We talk about, discipline, dedication, commitment, sacrifice often on this podcast. But this is kind of like a day in the life here where I have lots of conversations with lots of men, women too, but, locally where people swing by and they talk. And they, I hear a lot of talk. I don't see a lot of action and follow through from time to time because, that talk is typically followed up by a common sense response from me, and that's usually not really accepted very well. And you'll see what I mean here in a minute. So I had a young man come in here the other day. He's probably in his 30s. He may show up and, were you talking about me in the podcast? Yeah, fucking was. He came in here and we were having a conversation, and the dude looked like he was at least somewhat fit, I could tell. I've been doing construction my entire life, so I could tell he's a construction guy coming in. And, he came in and, can I help you? I was in the middle of a lift or getting ready to lift somewhere along those. I was getting ready for training. And, but I'll take time to talk to anybody that comes in. So he said, yeah, man, I've been following your stuff on social media. He says, I'm really impressed by what I see. I want to get in on some of that. And I was like, well, what specifically is it that you're seeing the most of that you're the most drawn to? And he's like, dude, I'll tell you, I'll be honest, all of it. From your guys' strength and conditioning videos to your strongman videos, from the jiu-jitsu side of it, the combative side of it, the weapons work that I see some of you guys do. He says, it's really speaking to me. And to be honest, I have this conversation with a lot of men a lot. And it's really speaking to me. And I just decided to bite the bullet, and I got to get started. And I said, well, what made you make that decision to come here and have this conversation? He's like, well, in my opinion, with all this Epstein file stuff coming out and the world just feels like it's going to shit, I just feel like it's time to make a really positive change in my life. And I feel like a lot of what you guys have going on here will help me prepare for those particular things, whatever those changes may be in the future. I want to be a lot more prepared and capable moving forward. And I said, well, I'm trying to summarize for you guys on this podcast, but I summarize in the sense that, that's kind of the mission of Iron Legion Strength and Combat. Is we're a human performance gym, strength and conditioning based, and all of our strength and conditioning is based on combatives. And the reason I use human performance is there's a tier of work when you're looking at human performance. Maybe it's general health and wellness. It could be sport. It could be self-defense. You're moving at different levels throughout here, but Iron Legion handles all of that in a coached environment. We spend time with our athletes and we try to develop them to the level that they want to get to. And the ultimate level for us is self-defense and weapons work and being able to defend yourself, be it with guns, with knives, different things like that. We have specialty trainers that can handle different things along those lines. But we also have, your regular strength and conditioning that helps build your confidence, things like that. Well, I really love that. He says, and that's exactly what I'm all about, but I don't have a lot of money. What I do is I work 40 hours a week and I have a kid at home. And I don't have a lot of money and I don't have a lot of time. Don't have a lot of money, don't have a lot of time, which is really pretty much every single member at my gym. But, I digress. So I just let him talk. He said, I don't have a lot of money, don't have a lot of time, but I do want to make these changes in my life. What are we talking about price-wise for something like that? Now, I don't really like getting into prices right off the rip. I really want somebody to understand. I'll give you some free trials. I'll let you understand what the gym's all about first. But because I was getting ready to train, I started breaking down numbers for the dude. I was like, well, what specifically are you looking to do? And he goes, all of it. And I said, well, when we're looking at strength and conditioning, you know, you have your gym membership. When you're looking at jiu-jitsu or combatives, that's another company that I have in here. We have a really good reciprocal relationship with the combative studio that is inside of our facility, so you'll get a heavily discounted rate by, if you're a member here in our strength and conditioning side. And he said, the weapons work, I want to do weapons work. And I said, well, the weapons work is going to be with a personal trainer, so you're going to be paying personal trainer rates for that, because this is very defined. This is sharper edge type stuff. It's not class type, small group type shit. Once we started getting into weapons work, it's very defined as to what specifically you're looking to do. If we take all three of those, and really what you've just done is you've just pretty much wrapped yourself into a very, very VIP, nice program, and we'll do what we can on the rates, but you know, they look like this. And, you know, the face, the blood draws out of the face. You know, so that's a lot of money. It's a staggering amount of cash, you know. So we got back to talking about, you know, the state of the world today. You know, being able to take care of your family, being able to understand who your neighbors are, networking with people, the benefit of training at a gym like this and reaching out and meeting people in your community, training side by side with them in hard, difficult environments. You know, that's kind of what we're all about. So I started talking him back into, you know, this style of training here. Not whether he wanted to sign up or not, I just wanted to explain to him exactly what he was getting into. I also, while I had him in the conversation, I also cautioned him that while it does sound expensive, not only is it expensive, it's very hard. We don't sell vacations here at Iron Legion. This isn't some super fun, flashy boot camp class. It's not going to be a really fun CrossFit-y class where we're all high-fiving each other at the end of it. It's hard work. For a lot of people, it's, you know, for your first few weeks or your first 6 weeks here, it's borderline suffrage, right? It's very, very tough. And you're learning during those phases how to lean on each other inside of the group to get through these types of things. There's a lot of pressure that's going to be taking place when you're here at Iron Legion. There's a lot of uncomfortable situations that you're going to be putting yourself through, but that's by design, dude. So what we're looking to do is for 1 hour a day when you come in here to my gym, I'm going to put you in one of the most uncomfortable situations that I can put you in throughout that entire hour. I'm going to put you under pressure. I'm going to put you under stress and duress, and I'm going to expect that your brain works the entire time. And at the end, when you leave, you will have achieved something that you've never achieved outside of these four walls. And you're going to be doing that consistently. Now, what does that do to your confidence on the other side of that? That makes you a stronger, better, more capable person, right? I like what you're putting down, bro. I really do. I'm going to come in on Friday, and I'm going to sign up. Friday's tomorrow. I'll have another podcast to let you know whether or not he came. I'm going to come on Friday. I'm going to sign up. What I'd like to do is just an entry-level thing, and then I'll just kind of branch out from there. So that's an excellent idea. That's a good place to start. Let's start base level, and then we can build into the things over time. As you start getting used to how we do things here, that's how a lot of people get started here. They start at base. They don't start all full up. Now you can, but you don't have to. And here we go. He said, the first thing that I'm going to have to work on is my cigarettes. It's hurting my cardio, and I'm not going to have a lot of endurance. And I paused, and I looked right at him, and I said, right there is your gym membership, bro. That's your gym membership. How many packs of cigarettes do you smoke a day? Two packs of cigarettes a day. I think on average right now, cigarettes are running around $8 a pack. Maybe a little less, maybe a little bit more based on where you're going and what kind you're getting. So you're looking at about $16 a day. Now I'm not going to sit here and be a financial analyst and tell you how to do math, but at the end of the day, at the end of the month, you've spent a lot of money on cigarettes. A lot of money. You could probably get 2 gym memberships here at Iron Legion for the price of cigarettes. And I explained that to the guy. And he's like, yeah, you know, well, it's one of those things I've been trying my whole life to quit. I'm just really struggling with it. And I paused and looked at him, and I was like, that's the sacrifice part. right? You're wanting to make a very, very hard switch in your life. You're trying to make a very hard switch and become somebody that you're not right now. And it's gonna have to be uncomfortable. I just told you it's uncomfortable here in the gym, but you may have to make some uncomfortable changes outside of your personal life as well. Maybe on a financial aspect, could be on a schedule aspect, could be a lot of different things like that to get this style of training that you can't get anywhere else in this area right here in Ocala, Florida. If you want this type of premier training for what you're looking to do for human performance at the level that you want to be, making the changes for your daughter, for your community, for those things, it's a pretty small ask to kick some cigarettes. Is it hard and difficult? Yes, I understand that it's hard and difficult, but sacrifice is part of the deal, right? Sacrifice is part of the deal. The cost is part of the sacrifice. Maybe you're kicking the whiskey bottle for a couple of months. Maybe you're kicking the cigarettes for a little while. Maybe you're, whatever it is, maybe you're not doing something in the evening so you have a little bit more time in the morning. Whatever those particular things are, there's going to be sacrifices of time and comfort in order to take on a new habit, a new positive habit. We're gonna take a negative habit, we're gonna try to shut down or control that negative habit and try to grow that positive habit. I also see it on the nutrition side of it. I have a ton of members here at the gym that struggle with their nutrition all the time. They come in here constantly and they're beating their head into the ground, training, trying to out-train a bad diet. And then they go home and eat whatever they want because they deserved it, because they worked hard at the gym. And then they cry because nothing's changing on the in-body scan. Lean muscle's not going up, body fat's not going down. They never made the real sacrifice. The real sacrifice they have to make on their own. I'm not going home with that person to make their food for them, but I will explain to them how to do it and what to do, right? But if you don't take the steps on your own and take control of yourself and have some personal responsibility for yourself, nothing's gonna fucking change. And everything's gonna stay the fucking same, and everything that you're doing right now with me while we're having this conversation is waste my fucking time and tell me these things that you're going to do that you're never gonna follow up on anyway. It makes you feel good to say it out loud, these are the things that I'm going to do, but are you actually gonna take the actions to make these things fucking work? Because they suck and they're hard and they're miserable. And I'm trying to train my athletes here inside of that hour to accept uncomfortable situations, to accept pressure, to accept change. And the longer that you're here, the less you're going to want those cigarettes, right? The less that you may want those other things, because we're replacing negative habits with positive habits. The more emphasis you're going to put on nutrition when you start to realize, when I'm fueling my body properly, the workouts aren't as difficult and the results in the mirror are exactly what the fuck I'm looking for, right? So like, there's sacrifices of time, sacrifices of money, sacrifices of convenience that have to take place in order to make the changes that you're trying to make in your life. Maybe I'm going on a little too hard on this. We've talked about it quite a bit, but it is a little frustrating. So it's one of those things where some people come about it naturally. They know that I think I kind of grew up that way. For me, it was like, cut out the cable TV and I get to keep my Gold's Gym membership. Awesome. That's what I'm going to do. I'm literally 18 years old. I don't give a fuck. I'll cut out whatever I need to so that I can train and stay fit, right? If I want to hire this coach over there, I'm going to cut out drinking for a little while. I'm going to cut out this particular restaurant that I'm going to, whatever it is. This is when I was a kid and I was still developing these types of things. But these are things that coaches can step in on and really help with, guys. And that's what an environment like Iron Legion's good for. You have coaches that are helping guide you, give you ideas and things along the way to help you move forward through these sacrifices and these uncomfortable situations. That's what we're all about. Utilize us. Most of us have been there, especially me. I'm old as shit. Like, I've done it. I've been there. I've been through all of the sacrifices. So one of the things that I do want to go back on, though, is I'm not sitting here telling you not to smoke cigarettes. I'm not telling you to not drink whiskey, right? Those types of things, creature comforts that you have out there, if you can afford them and you can manage them and you can do those things well, cool. If you can go out and hit a shitty dinner from time to time and it doesn't necessarily affect your performance, cool. But if you're struggling to get somewhere and you're struggling to create commitment, if you're struggling to create habits and these things are consistently getting in the fucking way, it's time to get them out of your way so that you can blaze the path towards who you want to be. Another 2-3 years later, if you want to reintroduce those things after you feel like you have a little bit more control over yourself, maybe you do that, right? I know a lot of high performers, great fighters, that literally will finish rounds and go out and smoke a cigarette and come right back in and whip your ass, right? But these guys have put in the fucking time. They've put in the time, they put in the dedication, and they've gotten to where they need to be. I have high performing business owners in here. They'll have a glass of whiskey on the weekend. Doesn't seem to bother them. One or two, right? They can afford it. It doesn't get in their way. They have already managed those types of aspects of their life. So when you start comparing your life to other people's lives, be careful. You don't know the journey that they've taken to get there to be able to manage that particular situation and to keep that in their repertoire or their habits, right? You are developing new habits. You are becoming a new person. You have sacrifice you still have to do. There's time that you have to put in this. There's a year or more of time without those cigarettes. There's a year or more of dedicated eating properly. There's a year or more of kicking that bottle to the curb to actually see this shit become who you really are. Pretty soon it becomes a natural habit, but you're not there yet. So especially your first day, when you're coming in, it's going to be very tough for you to hold on to those types of things coming into an environment like this. So if you're looking for real change, if you're looking for somebody to help you along the way, I'm not telling you that I'm frustrated talking to people like that. It's that I'm frustrated that they will lean back into the cigarettes and they'll lean back into the bottle before they'll actually make the change. That's the frustrating part. The ones that actually say, fuck it, I'm over it, and they throw that fucking knife in the ground and they're like, I'm done. I'm moving from this fucking point forward, and I'm gonna do everything I can to make the changes for my family and my life and my networking group, my community, my country as a whole. I'm gonna make these changes, and hell or high water, I'm here for you. I've got you backed up 100% with a whole staff of coaches and an entire facility of different programs that'll get you exactly where the fuck you wanna go. But if you're gonna come in here and give me fucking lip service, I've heard this shit a million times. I've got a book that big, I call it Excusalations, and I can look up chapter 13, verse 6. You're fucking there. Your excuse is right there. So try to stay out of my excuse book. Get into my take action book. Be the motherfuckers that are taking action. Be the ones that are actually about it. Make the steps, make the sacrifices, kick the shit to the curb, and let's make some real positive change this year, because I agree, the world's fucking crazy right now. The only changes that you're in control of are you. You can control your next few steps. You can control how life affects you. You can control how you train, what you eat, those types of things, and they have a dramatic impact on your outlook on life and your confidence. Start by controlling what you can control during these dark times, and you may find a lot more success, and you'll find yourself in a lot more calmer, controlled state than feeling like the whole fucking world's gonna blow up. Right? Super anxious and nervous all the time, like, oh my God, we're run by pedos. We've always been run by fucking pedos. Take the proper steps to do the right things, and others will follow. Your family will appreciate it, your network will appreciate it, your city will appreciate it, everybody around you will benefit from it. So I'm here to help. We're downtown every single day. I'm here all the time, except for today. I'm gonna go watch my son whip some ass in wrestling for districts. Hopefully he makes it to state. But just wanted to drop that little nugget on you, tell that story. I honestly hope that dude shows up tomorrow fully fucking ready to kick some ass, and he commits, and 5 years from now he's one of the best human beings that I've ever seen, that we've ever produced out of Iron Legion. That's what I want more than anything, and my fingers are crossed, and I'm pulling for that dude. I hope it works out, but I'm just telling you a story and how it consistently goes. But I know that there are exceptions to the rule, and I hope that he is one, and I hope that you are too. We're out, and I'll see you next week.